welcome to episode 3 of the Gump Report. If you hear kids next door, take it. I'm not trying to be rude. I take it, you guys take it. I just had to redo this because I botched and it pissed me off. And now to redo it and the kids were being loud, which they're kids. I'm not mad at them. But you're going to take it like I got to take it. This is what I love about the Gump Report. You never know what you're going to get. As Forrest Gump had learned all his life. Life is like a bunch of chocolate. You never know what you're going to get. And I'm never going to know what I'm going to get. I could rant, I can rave, I can botch, I can act stupid and rant. And here I'm in between two worlds. You see, I see what's going on Andrade Cien Almas. Andrade, as Vince has named him, because he didn't like the Cien Almas. Look, I see how the Slug Daddy from Off the Rope Show Central is thinking. I see how JD and Just Alex is thinking. And both of them have good points. But I'm in the middle. Because this is the deal. This is not about if Andrade is great or not. This is what the Slug Daddy is not getting. But this is not also forgetting that he does have potential. And the way that JD and Alex are acting, they think he had way more than what he was showing. And we don't know. We're never going to know because Vince has already made his mind up. It doesn't make a difference. He can have every talent beyond wrestling in the world. Vince is done with him. So he's going to make him sit until his contract expires. Or he's just going to accept it. And then when he looks like a bitch, that is when Vince is going to say, well, this guy's now being quiet and he's behaving the way I want him. Maybe I might do something just to make his fiancée, Charlotte, happy. Because she had, and this is what has been already stated by Charlotte, she had already pitched trying to be Andrade's manager and they said no. And she's not happy about it. So you can say a lot about Charlotte. Look, I've talked about Charlotte. No lie. In real life, I believe her name is Ashley. I keep forgetting her real name. She's probably the sweetest person you can meet. But once she goes into the business, she's going to be as cutthroat as anybody else. She's going to get whatever she wants. She's a flair. Just like her dad, he wanted whatever he wanted. Yes, he played ball with other wrestlers, but he got whatever he wanted when he could get it. Charlotte is doing the same thing. And in many cases, it's not really that deserved because she's not the greatest wrestler there is. She just isn't. But I'm not taking anything away from that. She can wrestle, just not as great as she's expected to be. But this is not about Charlotte. It's not about Vince. This is about people seeing Andrade Cien Almas. And this is what I see. It's not about him. This is not about him at all. The Slug Daddy had part of it right. People wanting to bitch about somebody who could wrestle and they just want to bitch. Part of it is that. That's true. The other part is, hey, there's something wrong here. He's not given an opportunity. This is what I see. You guys know me. I stopped watching NXT 4.5 years ago because I couldn't stand seeing a wrestler that was on NXT that got spotlighted very well, that had some or great character development. And once he hit the main roster, he went from being here to here. And it wasn't because he didn't have the talent. And it wasn't because he didn't have a character. He had one built, or she had one built. It was simply because Vince did not want to use NXT's character and the character development that Triple H and Shawn had done. That's true. Shawn Michaels and Triple H did great work on many, not all, but many of the talent that came out of NXT. And very few have been allowed to keep their original personas. Roman Reigns is one of them. Charlotte is another. And to be honest, very few after that. Very few. Extreme few. Bray Wyatt is one of them. He was one of them. You can say Seth Rollins is another. Dean Ambrose, not really. He didn't really keep a lot of his persona. He still acted like a nut, but his persona changed more than a few times, and it was very subtle. But everybody who went onto the main roster lost their persona. That's if they even had a chance to build one. So when it comes to Andrade Cien Almas, it's not about he had incredible ring ability. It's not about if the potential of Andrade Cien Almas was not even begun to be reached, because he was typecast to the point where he was not given anything. And it's not about, and the Slug Daddy made this very clear, he was wondering what is the point about Andrade being so thought about. Is it because of his ring ability only? Is it because he had Zelina Vega there, and maybe Zelina Vega should be the one that's spotlighted because she's getting him over more than his talent in the ring? It's not that. Not saying anything isn't important about his own talent and possible building of his own persona on his own, because once he got separated from Zelina Vega, he wasn't really given much of an opportunity to build it, because the minute she was gone, this was about Angel Garza. Because I've seen him on Impact Wrestling. I can't remember his full name, but he was known as Gazzano Jr., along with Diego Kidd. I can't remember his full name, but I think it was Gazzano Jr. I could be wrong. You guys can let me know below if you remember his name. But it became more about Angel Garza than him. So even if he was beginning to build a persona, and it was reported that he had been working on his English, because he didn't speak English. He began to learn broken English, and he was improving it. He's with Charlotte. She has been working with him learning English. So he had to have a tutor, and the woman that he's engaged to, reportedly he's now engaged to, had been working with him. But Vince dropped it. Just ended it. And that was it. Or Bruce Pritchard. One of the two. It doesn't make a difference. Either one of them dropped him, and now he's in the back and catering, and he made a request. I'm sure he probably demanded to get his release, and Vince said no. He doesn't want people that are here to leave unless they do the jobs and even look like shit before they left. But as I said, this isn't about his incredible in-ring ability. This isn't about if it's Zelina Vega that makes him better. For me personally, this is about almost every NXT star going into the main roster, and Vince, and possibly more than not Bruce, deciding, oh, Triple H, send us another piece of meat. Let's destroy him and see what we got. And before you know it, whatever made them so incredibly special, which made them a star on NXT, was literally torn apart by Vince and Bruce, and not given an opportunity to see if the persona they brought from NXT would work. That's what this is all about. When it comes to the Off the Rope Show Central, he's not lying. And when it comes to JD and Alex, they're not lying either, but they don't see the entire picture. This is all about Vince not letting anything from NXT even given a chance to try. Very few people, unless Vince really likes them, will let them keep their personas. And even if the persona does not work, and look what happened with Roman Reigns for 4.5 years. His persona did not work. People hated him for it. But Vince liked him so much as he was, it didn't make a difference if the persona worked or not. Vince wanted him to stay the same way he was. This wasn't about Joe Anoa'i wanting to stay exactly as he was. It was due to the fact Vince wanted him the way he was. Because Vince, not caring if, or maybe caring that the persona worked, but everyone else saw it didn't matter to him. Only thing it mattered is Vince. And then with Bruce takes whatever Vince has and continues running with it. That is what the major issue here is. Vince, seeing whatever Paul Levesque, his son-in-law, not brother-in-law. You see him watching. There you go in the Gump report. He pretty much, Paul, with Shawn Michaels, made new stars for the main roster. And normally, and I'm saying this to people who do not understand how wrestling works. When you're in a minor promotion or a developmental promotion from a larger promotion, they'll make you a persona. And in most cases, they'll allow you to carry the persona over into the main promotion and see if it'll fly before they change it around, because they got to know what the fans like and don't like of your current wrestler that just came up from the minor leagues, as they would say it. But with Vince, he doesn't give that opportunity. 95% of the time, they destroy the personas. They change either their music, their in-ring attire, their in-ring work. They make them scripted so heavily that in NXT, where most of the time, yes, they do have scripts, but at least they let them ad-lib a little bit. Vince refuses to let you ad-lib. And being the way the environment is in WWE in the main rosters, you can't speak against Vince. Either one, he won't listen to you, or two, he'll penalize your ass. So people are too damn scared to do it. Or one point or another, they get so damn tired of it, they vent on Vince, and then either Vince will like it, or Vince will penalize you even worse. So what do? You're stuck. So Andrade Cien Almas pretty much has been stuck in the back with nothing to do, and now he made a request for his release, and he's not going to get it. He'll have to wait until his contract runs out, which could be a few months or maybe another year. Who knows? But this isn't just about Andrade because they're angry. Most of them are going to be angry because they see his in-ring work and they think it's incredible. And that's what the Slug Daddy's noticing, and he doesn't get why they love him. And then there's just Alex and JD, who sees the in-ring work, but also see that he could have had potential with Zelina Vega, and maybe with either Charlotte by his side, or eventually with enough time, he would have developed a persona of his own, learning English along with it. And they get angry because he didn't even get the option to try. But they see it more skewed of, he had in-ring work that's perfect, and how could they screw it up? They had Zelina Vega. It was perfect. How could they screw it up? And they did, and were angry. I see it like this. It's not about either one of them, even though they're a part of it. It is about Vince refusing to take Triple H's work and at least try to let it work on the main roster. They refuse to let it happen. He nips it in the butt within the first couple of days. Look what happened with Keith Lee. Everyone else who come up from NXT to the main roster, no matter SmackDown or Raw, they keep their music. They still got their music. They still got the same music from the same studio that produced it. And anyone who's been coming up, like Rhea Ripley, she still has the same music. He just decided to change out Keith Lee's music and force him to change his ring attire. Then he forced him to go back down to developmental, not NXT, developmental, and redo his work. And now work slow and methodical, because he sees him as a big 340-pound guy that should not be jumping around like a cruiserweight. Which now, where is he? There's a good possibility that either Keith Lee got sick with COVID because he went down to the Performance Center, because they're not doing very well. Even though no one's been sick lately, for months people have been on and off getting sick. But he could just be, his spirit might be broken. He may not care anymore. That's what it looks like. Even if he's been sick or he's injured, that's one thing, but it's not being reported. What it comes down to is this. Keith Lee was one of the most strongest stars of NXT. You could say he did more ring work than he did his own persona. Fine. So not everyone's going to like his ring work, and not everyone's going to like his persona. But it was something. And unfortunately, as it stands now, he's nowhere to be seen. Everyone expected him to be on WrestleMania. He's not. It doesn't look like he's going to be there. And if he is, he's going to be the changed version of Keith Lee that not everyone likes. Many people don't like Keith Lee as he is. And it's not his fault. What is he supposed to do? He's got to do what he's ordered to do. He's still under contract. It's not like he can say, fuck you, I'm walking away. He's still bound by his contract. He can't work anywhere, he'll be sued. He can't do any third-party work, or he'll be in trouble with WWE management, and then he'll be sanctioned, he'll be fined. He might get suspended and not get any money. He's stuck. So this is what it's about. Vince not giving a damn about NXT and at least trying to let the new personas of these wrestlers even get a chance to be tried. This is just my point of view, and I hope you enjoyed the Gump Report. I can't help it. I'm sorry. I can't. This is so stupid. Well, I'm doing it every time, but it's fun. I want to laugh. And I hope it makes you laugh too. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace.